Hello, I'm Jasmine Jackson. We have Jackson's at Jedburgh, which is in the Scottish borders, which is a farm experience attraction, and we're hosting today's Lambathon. I'm just putting my wellies on down at the house and I'm going to walk up to the farmyard. So over the coming days there is going to be live tours at 1 o'clock over lots of farms in Scotland. So our farm that you'll see today and how we do it will be completely different to some other farms you might see. So it's me just leaving the house. I'm going to go up the yard. We've had a really cloudy, rainy day today. Still spitting a little bit. I'm glad I'm not a lamb out in the fields. It's not been the best of weather. We're very wet underfoot, very soggy. Today's our first day open as our visitor attraction for 2024. So there's lots of people at the farm today. We're doing lamb feeding twice a day at the minute, so people come and they learn to mix up the milk and they feed our lambs. The fields are very wet. I might try and get our Land Rover in the field to see if we can see the sheep outside, but it's very squishy, so I might not. So what we're going to see is some of our pet lambs. Pet lamb is a lamb that's been orphaned for many different reasons. They will all have a different reason as to why they're inside, but they get bottle reared by us and they get raised inside, which is a great way for visitors to get up close to lambs and learn about lambing time, introduce kids to farming life. So these are my favourite buildings on the farm. They're lovely stone buildings. It's where we keep some animal food and things. So we're just going to go up to the yard. I'm just about to go into the yard. I will dodge about the lambing shed because we've got visitors here and I don't want anyone to end up being on camera without them wanting to be. So the lambs were fed at about 11. I'm just talking quietly because they're actually all asleep. So we've been lambing for a good few weeks now, so we have a complete variety of ages. So these are probably our oldest lambs, about a month old. And then we've got an empty pen there. Medium lambs, a couple of weeks old. And then these are our newest additions in here. So these vary from about 7 days old right down to, where's the smallest one? Down here. We've got this little one who is just about 2 days old. So it's been fed by visitors today. It's a really good little drinker despite being so tiny. The rest are having a wee nap. I'll turn my camera around. There we go. These guys having a little chill here, snuggled up together. This one's having a sleep as well. Our lambs here are all different colours. We've got quite a variety of different breeds. So you see a lot of interesting things. And the visitors really like seeing all these different colours too. Then in the next pen, we'll have my 3-year-old son's third birthday present, which was a Jersey calf. And this is the only cow we've got on the farm that isn't a beef cow. So one day, when it's older, it'll produce milk for us, which will be nice. Although maybe all my kids will be finished drinking as much milk by the time it does. This little lamb here is its best friend. Anytime they're out of the pens and they're running about, this lamb's absolutely glued to it. So it gets to live with the calf because they're best mates. Go down past the lambs again. So I'm going to go out into the wind and the rain and we'll have a look in the field, have a look at these guys. They're all sleeping. These guys are on milk, but they're also on hard feed now to start to wean them. I'll turn my camera around again. We'll just go out of the shed and into the rain. So you probably can't tell it's raining much here. It's quite windy. Our farm is about an hour south of Edinburgh, an hour north of Newcastle. We're right on the Scottish border. In fact, if I turn round here, just beyond this tree line here, see the hills in the distance, that is actually what we call the Carter Bar, which is the boundary between Scotland and England. So we're actually very, very close to England in the Scottish borders. Not everybody is, the borders is quite a big area. So we've got 436 acres here. We're mainly grass, so we mainly grow grass and raise animals on the farm. I'm actually just going to walk down to the field because I don't think that I fancy getting embarrassed, getting stuck in the field on the Land Rover on live streaming. So in the field over the hedge here, we've got all our what we call singles, which is a sheep that's only going to have one lamb. So they're all outside. They should manage to lamb all by themselves without help. Most of the sheep here do manage. We selectively breed, which means we don't keep things that have been struggled to have lambs on the farm, so that we have a bit of an easier lambing, we hope. So most things are outside at this time of year. It's a real shame that the weather's so bad, because for the sheep and the lambs it's not quite as nice. You definitely want to be born on a nice sunny day rather than in the rain. But there we go. We are in Scotland and the sheep are plenty warm enough. We're quite lucky because it is rainy, but it isn't cold. It isn't cold today. See, there's people watching from all over the world, which is amazing. There's going to be farms all week that are going to be broadcasting from all over Scotland. Lots of people have more sheep than us inside than we do, which can be a great thing because it means you can get really up close on the camera. So all that we've got inside at the moment is our lambs, because all the sheep on this farm lamb outside. Everybody's completely different. We've only just started lambing. That's why we didn't see many lambs in the shed today. But lots of people have been lambing since February, so they'll have hundreds of lambs outside skipping across the fields. So get an insight across the whole of Scotland. You can tune in to Go Rural at 1 o'clock and see lots of different people talking about their farms and their farming systems. Now, we're not going to get up close to very many sheep in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick loop down to see the goats, because I've just walked through the farmyard and my phone's connected to the internet and then disconnected, so hopefully that's us back on our 4G now. So these are the farm cottages that are at the farm. There's 6 of them there, and a long time ago they would all have been filled with people working on the farm. Nowadays none of them are filled with people working on the farm, because we've got such good technology nowadays that the amount of people working on a farm this size is so much less than it used to be. We don't actually have anybody in the cottages. These are not our cottages, so we're tenant farmers. We're incredibly lucky. We've got a very long generational lease, which means we can always pass our farm on to our next generation, which is unusual now. And it makes it very difficult for some people to get into farming. But we're very lucky, and we're also very lucky we've started this farm experiences on our farm, and they've been going really well, and the estate's been very supportive of what we're doing. So we're now in the field, and we're going backwards with the camera's quite trickier than I thought. There's our house through the trees, so that's where I've just come from, and you can see it's hardly any distance to where we go to work every day, obviously on the farm. And that's our garden fence where my finger is there, and the visitor attraction's just the other side. So it's a very short commute to work for us. It's amazing actually as well. I would describe us as being a farm park on its head. So if you've ever been to a farm park before, you get lots of animals, you get lots of toys, lots of bouncy castles, so much fun. But we're kind of the other way around. So here it's very, very based on learning all about farming, finding out about what we do here, and having a very natural walk around the farm as if there were no farm fences here at all, although there are, of course. So it's very based on the animals, and then we've got some toys to play with. And it's been fascinating for us as a family having visitors on the other side of the fence, because we haven't got any bouncy castles. It's been really quiet, and the kids have been imaginatively playing. Don't know if you can see the rain, but there's the mud. Very squelchy this time of year. So is our 3rd year as a farm experience attraction. We've been so lucky. The first few years have been very, very dry, very sunny. Everyone's been idyllic sunshine farm with all the daffodils everywhere. And this year they're getting a true chance of seeing our farmer fields, which is wet and windswept. But nobody seems to be complaining. I think everyone in Scotland that's visiting us this week is pretty tough. So we're down at the goats at the minute. We have these wee tubes here so you can feed the goats, and they usually come running over, but I'm just here after another family and the goats must be chocker full of food, so I'll climb in beside them and see them. So the goats on the farm are just a bit of fun for us, really. Our kids love them. Everybody else's kids that come to visit love the goats. They seem to have such character, don't you? Last year we raised a goat kid in our house that had fallen in some poo and its mother rejected it because it smelt strange. This is Snowy. So Snowy is actually a dairy type of goat. So traditionally she would be used to be making milk, cheese, soaps and all sorts. She's actually from another Go Rural farm, Errington Cheese. So if you follow them, they make loads of goat cheese in Scotland, lots of different things. And I think they either have or they're about to open a visitor attraction where you can go see them make cheese and see the dairy goats, which is brilliant. I was looking for the goat here that we had in our house last year. I was thinking it had escaped, but I don't think it has. Here it is here. They're in their little shelter. Goats are not as hardy as sheep. If these guys were all outside having lambs at the minute, they wouldn't be faring so well. They absolutely love their shelters. Whereas if we had this shelter in our field for the sheep wouldn't really use it. So the goats are a lot softer. So it goes on a round walk right round the first gate, which you can't see because it's so cloudy and rainy. But it goes on a circular walk around the field so people can see how we farm, and lots of things might be happening when they go around, tractors or moving sheep, or usually Fenwick and I having a little bit of an argument maybe. But then it goes up the top and there's an extension over the hill where people can go on a Highland cow safari. So the Highland cows go out this week when they come back to be ready for calving, and people will have a good old look at the Highland cows, which is really nice. I think seeing a Highland cow is most often even on the bucket list of people who live in Scotland. Even Fenwick and I, who see them all the time, really, really love standing and watching them. We're going to go back, and what I'm going to do is we'll just go back to the lambing shed and we'll just sit and we'll just look at the lambs for a while. I often find that the most popular thing at the farm for people to do when they're near the animals is just to stand and watch. When we do the Highland cow experiences, probably 50% of it is just being in the presence of the cows, and it's feeling Fenwick always describes feeling the in and the out breath of the cows. It's a really calming experience. You can hear all our sheepdogs barking maybe at the minute. When you come to the farm, you don't actually have to climb all the fences like I am. I'm just doing it because I can't open gates with one hand with my phone in the other. So this is our tour trailer. This is a trailer you go in if you come to the farm and go for a farm tour or a lambing experience or Highland cow experience. See, there's cars in the car park today. So we put a marquee up for lambs this year because people like to spend a lot of time with them. And we put lots of straw down, and it's a really, really nice, gentle thing to do. Just sit and play with the lambs. I see they're all standing up now, so we'll go and have a look, and what I'll do is I'll just probably sit and we'll just sit and film the lambs for a little while so we can watch them. So that's what everyone is here for, just to see some lambs. I see Beth, who works with me and is really great with visitors, is actually holding lambs and letting people pet them in a minute, which is really nice.
Running up and down the hill. So nice that they're not scared of them.
Yeah, I know. Some of them are so confident, especially if they've been here for quite a while.
How old are they? Them ones? The black couple of days.
Yeah, there's
Really?
days in there.
What's the one at the back? Oh,
The one at the back, I say, I'm not too sure, but I can't imagine it being very old.
yeah.
Tiny Tina.
That's her name as well. That black one, that's too tense, isn't it?
Look at that lamb sitting right next to a couple of hens. Is there something wrong with them? Or do they just do that? No, that's so nice. This little lamb is been fed not that long ago, but it's actually trying to suckle from anywhere or anything it can. So that's what they do. They nudge about and they just wander about for milk. And because this is just a few days old, this lamb, it doesn't yet really know where its milk is going to come from. So what it's going to do every time it's a little bit hungry is it's going to try and feed. So you try and feed them as naturally close to what they would be out in the fields, but in the fields they can go and get milk off their mother whenever they like. So it takes them a few days to learn that milk comes, and they get in the routine of waiting for the milk at the right time. Here we feed them 4 times a day, so it's just been fed about 11, half 11. So by the time people have mixed the milk, it's usually a little bit later. When it's waiting, gonna have to wait till 2 o'clock before it gets fed again. But its little tail's waggling, which is a good sign. It's great to see them looking for milk. It means they're very healthy, it means they're keen, and they're gonna be good drinkers. These guys are up now. And this one's getting up. This is my 7-year-old son's lamb. This is Tiny Tina. Tiny Tina is called Tiny Tina, funnily enough, because she's very small. She won't be small forever. So she's about 3 days old. And the one that's searching for milk all the time is 2 days old. This one's got little droopy ears. And this one here is bigger than them, but it's about the same age. It's just a lamb that's bred a bit different. This is actually a Shetland cross Leicester. We've got some Shetlands on the farm, which is really nice. Of course, they originate from Scotland. And then we've got this little brown fella, which is actually a hair sheep. So nowadays it costs quite a lot to take the wool off your sheep, and the wool is not worth an awful lot of money. So a large proportion of the sheep we have on the farm shed their own fleeces or have hair instead of wool, which reduces the amount of money we outlay, and it means we have to interfere with the sheep a little bit less as well. We have to handle them less, and we have to put them in less varied situations. We do shear some sheep on the farm, but lots of them have fleeces like this one, which is very tight and very close, and will mean that they'll get woolly, and then when the time comes, the fleece will just fall off naturally into the ground, and the birds take it away, and it blows through the fields and gets popped on the fences and stuff like that, and it just goes into the ground and disappears. They're little lambs. can see the rain outside now that we're in the marquee. So for anyone watching who is new to Go Rural Scotland or has been following it for a while and watching all the farm content but isn't quite sure, Go Rural Scotland is a body of people who are all in agriculture, who all are really keen to welcome visitors onto their farms. So when you go to Go Rural Scotland, you can find plenty of farms all across Scotland who are welcoming visitors in various ways. So we happen to be a farm experience attraction, which means you can come and meet the animals and learn about the farm. You've got everything from farm shops to stay on the farm in accommodation. You've got other visitor attractions similar to us but different across the breadth of Scotland. You've got farm shops. You've got all sorts of places you can go and get connected with farms, farm tours. So there's a Go Rural map if you go online, and you can find all the different farms across Scotland and what they're providing and when and how. And you can plan a route to visit lots of farms, or you can pick your favourite one to go and visit. There are at least 4 in our area that I can think of. So there's us, and then less than a couple of miles away there's Bairnkin Holiday Cottages. So there's holiday and caravan and camping next door. About 15 minutes from us there's Beerup alpacas, when you can go and walk an alpaca. And then I'm not sure, 15-20 minutes away you've got Wilson's Farm and Kitchen, which are an incredible place to go. They have Hereford cattle, they have some sheep, and they do really lovely farm tours, and they have these wonderful bothies where you can go and you can book the place for a meal. They're really good. So there's all sorts of places to eat and experience across Scotland. Definitely recommend taking a tour of our area, but other than that there's all sorts of places from the Scottish borders all the way right up north and in the Highlands and Islands. So if you check out gorural.com you can find out all about farm experiences, and if you come back here at 1 PM throughout lambing time you'll find out about lots of other farms in Scotland and how they lamb. Lots will be different to us, some will be similar, and some people's lambs will be different ages. So thank you for being with us today, and I'm sorry we couldn't get out into the fields. There's just no way I could get the Land Rover in and out, and I don't think I could ride the quad bike with one hand. So I'm sure at some point this week you will see sheep and lambs out in the fields, and it'll be lovely to see. And if you check out Go Rural's feed or follow us online, you'll see plenty of footage of lambing time in Scotland. Thank you.